it is its own blend of this information that comes together. It's my particular take, and not just mine. Now it's a very collective approach to this information that has been out there. And as neuroscience continues to unfold, we continue to learn and grow and keep people updated as much as we get updated. Welcome back to the Mind Change Podcast. I'm your host, Heather McKean, and today with me is the one, the only Kent McKean for our Season 1 closer. Hi.
Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, end of Season 1.
I know, it's crazy.
It feels like we just started it, and then again, it feels like we've been doing it forever, in a good way. I think because it was so long in the making.
Yeah. Well, you've been wanting to do this a long time. I'm really proud of you.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for for any of you who are listening or watching or invested at all in the podcast. It couldn't happen without Kent McKean. He does so much of the technical stuff, and anyway, really literally wouldn't be happening without him. I just sit and talk, and I never know what else to do other than that. So
well, that's what you're great at. So
well, anyway, so we're gonna recap a little bit, yeah?
Yeah.
Just this first season has been amazing. Wow. I feel like people were getting really good response about this first season.
Yeah, I'm really loving that people are commenting, asking questions, not just this was cool, but really ooh, this resonated with me. Can you talk more about this? This has really helped me in this part of my marriage. I mean, it's been really encouraging to, hear people, and also have people having legit questions of well, what about this? And can this help? And I mean, it's been great. Yeah.
Within our student communities, we have, our online courses have student communities, and there is lively discussion about the topics and what people are getting out of it and sharing. But I love that people who may not be in the student communities are also, feeling free to share. So thank you. Please continue to do that. We really we do this for the people. So for you guys, for the listeners, for the watchers. So
I can't tell you how many people have, whether it's on consults I've done or just with clients or whatever, who maybe didn't know, oh, the podcast is out or something like that. Being able to jump in and listen to something that's just so much free content and so much information, it's really helpful for people that, especially newcomers or people that have been around for a while. And so, yeah, it's just so good to be able to give that knowledge and that excitement to people of the hope and the ability to transform and change.
So I thought what would be a great idea is for us to watch back or listen back a few of the key moments and ideas from some of our most popular episodes.
Yes.
Things that we've heard people say wow, this really spoke to me, or this was an epiphany moment for me, or anything like that. Just some of those little takeaways, so that if you haven't seen or watched or listened, that you can go back and catch up with these. Don't miss. I feel like even though we're not a podcast that builds on a particular concept, of teaching, we really do still build. Mm-hmm. And if you haven't caught one of our key tenets or concepts from before, if you drop in a little bit later, it may be hard to get the fullness of it.
And we talk about things that we've already gone full scope on in a previous episode. And so to really grasp everything, yeah, it's really helpful.
Right, like when we say victim-victor, if you haven't listened to the victim-victor episode, you're not going to fully understand what we're talking about. So let's pull a few of our favorite moments and key spots from some of our past episodes in Season 1, and then we'll catch back up in a minute.
Love it.
This changed everything for me, the understanding of this. of, oh my goodness, I'm actually getting something from the thing that I think is a problem.
So it wasn't like that one session, because people always ask me that, like, how is it that that one session changed everything for you? It wasn't like that one session healed everything, but it was the catalyst. It just helped me to go, oh my gosh, like what else could I do?
So we like to think that we're in control as humans, right? And our conscious mind likes to believe that it is what is actually in control. When the truth is, it's our subconscious mind that actually runs about 95% of our daily operations. And sleep is so important because it's when the conscious mind actually shuts down and lets the subconscious mind file, filter, organize, and just do all the stuff it needs to do with all the input that has come in from each day. Remember, the subconscious mind does not speak the same language or use the same rationale as the conscious mind. Consciously, we think that if we already have concerns about what people think about us, or we often feel like a victim, the last thing we need is an unsightly rash covering our body to bring even more attention to ourselves. But the body is doing this so that we will bring attention to the issues that are going on inside of us. The more obvious the body makes the problem, the more likely we should be to give it the attention that it needs. If I'm in like a group of people and someone has a particular problem, we say, or a struggle, I don't feel the need to fix because I don't see that as brokenness. I see it as communication. And so I'm actually curious, and I'm curious about their curiosity about it. So the approach that I take isn't one of like, oh, shame, oh, you poor thing, and blah, 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 right? Which oftentimes in these sort of growth communities, that isn't what someone's looking for anymore. And the real injustice is that you needed to care for them when they should have been caring for you. Though they were likely doing the best that they could with their own limited emotional or mental resources. It doesn't mean that the child wasn't affected or that they didn't need more. Learning to care for others and catering to other people's needs becomes a coping mechanism later in life.
Like I remember the exact moment, and he was able to go in and fully resolve the trauma. And it sounds so like unbelievable, right? That he changed so much, but really the wound wasn't there anymore. He completely healed the wound and changed the perception about himself. And literally so quickly, just the behavior issues and the pain wasn't there anymore. And he became so open to love and connection and just at peace with himself.
Some of the stuff that we've been holding on to are long-lasting generational family ideas or beliefs. And then they land with us and we're actually carrying an unbalanced share. So not only what happens in our life, which frankly, a lot of the stuff that happens in our life is because of the lenses that were passed down to us, but we're also carrying so many of their unprocessed traumas, right, epigenetically.
What is it that they really, needed underneath everything? Like, what did they want to see in their parent, so to speak? And it was like, I wish they would have just that they had just been able to really rest. Or if I had seen them doing something that they really enjoyed or really loved, I'm like, oh, wow, that. They see that when they heal. And when they've worked through something too, one of the most automatic responses is that people go and play. Even in their memories, it's like, oh yeah, I just want to go and play. I'm like, oh, yes. That's part of the antidote. That's what's needed.
There is a component of this where you have to be enjoying. You have to find some place to be gentle and playful and creative and inquisitive. And I think that would have been hard for me to hear in the depth of my chronic illness, but I think it's still what I needed to hear then.
Yeah.
At least that seed needed to be planted. Because if we wait, if we think that we're only going to be free, happy, peaceful when this thing is done, it's never done. As this progresses, continually undealt with, these people become more and more fearful and stress sensitive. And again, because they're not common communicators of how they're feeling, you don't often see it. This can get really interesting because these people have they have this very, very high blood pressure, and yet they maybe don't seem like they are stressed out people.
That's such a metaphor because sometimes we are that Tafiti, like we have that ugly in us that people are like, no, cover, like even like, women with makeup, let's cover it up. Let's make it look nice. So Tafiti is like this monster, this volcanic, thing that wants to erupt, it wants to come out.
So likely the child witnessed an event. These are things that under normal conditions, quote unquote normal conditions, it wouldn't be just mildly upsetting or disruptive. But for the child that is carrying all of this ancestral or generational trauma, it actually triggers a landslide of cellular memories. Oh my goodness. That makes me want to go back and listen and rewatch. There's so many good things in there.
I mean, I'll tell you, listen, I'm most of the time behind the camera, although often, on here, but I listen to every single episode as it drops. And I've been here, I film it and then upload it and do all these things and whatever. But then I go back to the finalized version and I listen to it as soon as it drops. And I feel like I get things from it after the fact. I mean, I love it. So yeah, please go back. If anything kind of, piqued your interest or anything, listen to it.
And also just to take a moment to recognize our team. We have an incredible team. We have Francisco, who does all of our podcast magic behind the scenes with Relate Media. He's been amazing.
Just such a great editor.
Oh my goodness. So much help. So thank you, Francisco. Yeah. And then also everyone else who's contributed, the practitioners and the clients and everything. And you, thank you. It's been so wonderful. So with that, I think that it's interesting, like even to think about the genesis of the podcast, because it really moves into how we are going to move forward. So this was season 1, which really feels kind of experimental. None of us had done a podcast of our own before. We kind of just hit the ground running. So I feel like we're only going to get better.
Yeah.
Like things are just going to get better and better and better. So stick with us for that. The podcast originally was just simply to spread the message, to help meet the needs of people. Let's talk about, uncover the things that people want to learn more about, hear the stories. And so it's been interesting. So since the podcast launched, a lot of people have reached out to me wanting to be guests on the podcast, but they have their own thing they're doing. Maybe they have a coaching avenue or a modality that they work with, or a tool that they use in health or wellness or well-being or mindset. And so far it's been a choice of myself and the team to not have any guests outside of the mind change sphere for now.
Right. In other words, I mean, people that have experienced mind change in some form or fashion. So that's students, obviously practitioners, and then clients and people that have really been impacted for it, for the reason of really helping brand awareness. Like, this is what mind change is.
Yeah. And even though we're a collection of a lot of different things out there, there is still something special and something magical about what we have. Everyone likes to compare, right? Like, oh, is this EMDR? Is this EFT? Is this NLP?
Is this hypnosis?
And
is this whatever?
Yes and no. It is its own blend of this information that comes together. It's my particular take, and not just mine. Now it's a very collective approach to this information that has been out there. And as neuroscience continues to unfold, we continue to learn and grow and keep people updated as much as we get updated.
Well, I mean, when we revamped Module 2, it was, I felt, kind of like when you were writing your book, you were like diving in and learning all the more. It wasn't like, I've learned all this, now I'm going to write a book. It was, I've learned all this and I'm going to continue to learn for my book. That's what I felt when we were doing Module 2. It was like all the new neuroscience, all the newest, latest stuff, the cutting edge stuff, whatever it is, we keep adding to it because that's the mind-body connection, mind-body spirit.
So that's a little bit why we're keeping things mind change right now. There's so many podcasts out there that are interviewing the latest, greatest person in their field. I love those. Those are the majority of the podcasts I listen to. But for us, at least for the next season, we're going to really maintain the integrity of people who have experienced mind change and to show the various levels of growth and journey and change through that, and also to see the breadth of this particular tool, of how it can help in all the different areas it can help in, and people's evolution with it. So I think that that's important, and we're going to stay that way.
Well, and even some of the stuff we're going to do in the future with the different interviews and different types of people, it's not going to just be, although there will be, but not just someone who was really sick and got well, or someone who had this big thing. Some of the interviews that we'll be doing are people that have actually been with us for a little while, and the evolution of their growth and their change, just like you and me. I mean, it's not like discovered this and all of a sudden new person. It's new and then new and then new, and it continues to evolve as a human. That's what we do. And so we're going to be interviewing some different people that it's just that something has happened. They kept working on themselves. They kept getting sessions. They kept coming to something. And then all of a sudden this next level came up.
I think that's actually really important because we've both been witness to multiple different avenues of this, but a particular modality where if you get testimonial videos like right away, right after someone, and there's so much hype and there's so much this, and you get these testimonial videos, and your whole brand is built on these kind of initial testimonial videos. It's great, and that's cool, and we probably should do more of that because if we were asking, we could probably get a lot of that. The thing that I think is even more important, though, longevity.
Yeah.
Does it stick? Are these people continuing to grow and change? Are these people willing not to just come on right after and the hype? Are they willing to come on after they've been doing this for a year? Is something that we worked on a year ago still, or 5 years ago, still sticking? Because that's important. We don't want just this mind change to be this like novel little, I did this, woohoo, and then you have to move on to something different because it fizzles.
Another little thing in your
another stamp in my wellness passport book. Yeah, so that's what we're doing. That's the integrity that we want to keep within Mind Change, because this isn't just a healing modality. It is a mindset shift and a way to learn. It's like an instruction manual to how to live your best life if you stick with it.
Yeah.
So with that, it would be kind of cool to talk about things that we're going to be doing next year, like what you can expect from season 2.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you've been following us thus far, there's definitely a pattern to the release of the podcasts, right? You have an emotional driver. And so we're talking about something specific, physical ailment, issue, whatever, and some of the emotional drivers that can be associated with that. And those are shorter episodes. Those are anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes. And they go deep, and you usually share personally, this is how this affected me, right? And then you really go to some of the emotional drivers behind it. And then the next week is usually some sort of a discussion topic, right? So we're talking about victim-victor. We're talking about when it becomes too much work, or whatever it is, right? And so we'll do some sort of a topic about mind change. And then it's an emotional driver again. And then it's usually an interview with a practitioner or someone that's been deeply impacted. So there's a wide gambit of everything.
I think we're going to stick with that format.
Yeah.
But go even deeper. Like, we want to cover the conversations. What's a mind change lens around boundaries? What's the mind change lens around estrangement and narcissism, and these different kind of hot button topics out there? But our experience and I really feel like so often we have a different framework to see these things in.
Right.
And so we want to share that with people, and we want people to get answers to the problems that they're faced with in their real life. The other thing is, you may have noticed we sometimes have different backgrounds. That's because we travel to places. Even if you're listening and not watching, I just don't love the quality of Zoom interviews or online interviews. I know they have to happen sometimes. And what an amazing blessing we have that ability to do that. It is my desire to do as many live videos as possible because I feel like the quality of the interview is just different when you're in the energy of somebody else.
Right.
So that's our endeavor. My guess is at some point we have clients all over the world and people sharing all over the world. It isn't always, to pop over to, Australia or South Africa or England to do these interviews.
But we
might. And that is our goal. We already know we are traveling multiple places to meet up with clients that are just miraculous stories.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think about, so this last, year, some things that we've been able to do, some of the interviews that we'll be having for next year. We did a grief and loss seminar in Washington, D.C. area. And on top of that, before that, we were also doing our apprentice training and everything. And because we were focusing on grief and loss, some of our people that we brought in for sample clients that we were using to teach our apprentices had some pretty intense things going on.
Right.
Some very intense loss situations, dealing with suicides, we had the wonderful opportunity to work with people who were war veterans, but in
like deep combat
situations, really horrific things that they've been carrying for so long. Cannot wait for you guys to hear an interview with a gentleman named Ray. Oh, it's going to be amazing.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. We're going to get there. It's going to be amazing. We also are going to cover some birth stories that some people who've used mind change in their birth that are going to blow your mind and that don't seem possible. And also, of course, some healing stories of some people who've overcome diseases or conditions or things that were thought to be unhelpable, incurable, all of that kind of stuff. But also another aspect to this of people who have just leveled up.
Relationally, emotionally, physically.
Business-wise.
Yeah.
Can't wait to share a story about a client who, did a lot of work and then was like, you know what? I've got I'm stuck with the business. And next time I talk to them, 10 times the income. 10 times the income in a pretty short span of time. I mean, these are just amazing stories that you can look forward to in season 2.
Looking forward to it.
It's going to be great. Let's talk about a little bit of what our 2003 has been like with mind change.
2023.
Yeah. Did I say 2003?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure that was a good year. I don't remember it, but I don't remember that far back. But
that's the year we met, so it's a great year. What's happened since we met? No.
Fantastic. No, that's a long story. How about just 2023?
Yeah, it's been great because, of course, in a lot of ways, coming out of the pandemic and finally getting back to so many in-person things, it's been so wonderful. We were able to have 2 live weekend workshops. One in Austin, Texas, one in the DC area, and just to be able to have the general public come and what is mind change? What is this? How is this going to help me? How can I utilize this? And really be inundated with that. So that was neat to be able to travel and do those things.
And what's great about those live events is a bunch of like-minded people coming together. And then we pull people up from the audience, which is always really interesting. We just pull people from the audience and we work on them out in front of everybody. And also at those live events, because we usually hook them up with our apprentice training, we offer significantly discounted sessions for
Yeah.
people. And all of that actually goes to our nonprofit. So it's a way to continue to help the nonprofit grow. And so these live events are they're really amazing. And we have more of those planned for 2024.
Yeah, we got, when you're listening to this, just about a month and a half from then, is our next one. So the end of or beginning of February.
Yeah, come see us in
Yes,
Austin,
please.
Texas.
And it's available. You can register right now. But yeah, please come see us, be with us, be with a whole group of like-minded people, get discounted sessions. But more than that, just learn how to continue to level up and how this really works. And bring your friends and family, like people that don't know anything about it. Like you don't need to. This is a huge way to be introduced to it. But even if it is something that you're like, oh yeah, I read the book a year ago, or I've been doing this, whatever, come be there, like learn more, be around people, get to know other people that are excited about growing and overcoming and changing as well.
And it is priced ridiculously cheap because we just want as many people to come as possible. So it is very, very user friendly.
It's $100 right now. If you register right now, it's $100.
Okay,
Less
come
than
spend
100.
the weekend with us live. So yeah, those are great. We started those in 2023.
Yeah, we did. What else did we do? We had an incredible wellness retreat, the Mind Change Wellness Retreat. And that was in Belize. It was an island off the coast, about 30 minutes off the coast of Belize. Woo!
We've got the whole island. They cook for us the most amazing food. It's so beautiful.
We've got somatic work to integrate all the stuff we're doing in the mind. We're having group classes. We're learning how to start to work on ourselves more. We're getting everyone's getting multiple private sessions with practitioners. You get to really just be there, relax, and it's really it's a mind and body spa. Like it's really what it is.
It's so. We knew it was going to be amazing, right? We knew it was going to be amazing.
Yeah, totally. I was excited about it.
And it blew our expectations out of the water. We came out of it like our lives have changed once again. And it is an incredible, incredible experience. Please watch for our videos and stuff that we're going to be dropping from the retreat because it'll give you hope for almost any situation.
You'll get to hear from people that were participants there this year and just all the changes and what it meant for them and what it did for them. And then you'll get to see a little bit of the experience and what that's like. But yeah, personal interviews,
Those retreats
stories.
this is probably going to be dropping right in December. Guys, best Christmas present you could ever give yourself or a loved one. Get to that retreat. It will change your life.
Yeah.
Get to the retreat. If you can, do it. And if you can't, we got other stuff coming.
We do.
But you really should do that. Merry Christmas to yourself.
We'll talk more about next year.
Yeah. That's
next
coming.
season,
That'll be coming.
Yeah.
What else did we do in 2023? Started the podcast. Yay.
Yeah. This podcast, again, we already said it, but it's been your dream for many years. And so not just like starting it, but like going hard. We launched it and it's every week we're committed to a new episode every week. And you've just done so well with that. And we're really grateful for the people that have been tuning in, that continue to tune in, that have been sharing it. In fact, it's really encouraging because we've actually had numerous people, even recently, but like many people come in finding us on YouTube or my friend shared the podcast with me or whatever it is. And that's so great. Like that's why we made it. It's just so that people can hear more, be exposed.
Yeah, come on. We share those silly memes and reels and, all kinds of stuff. This is, and it's very loving just to be like, hey, I listened to this. This helped me. What do you think? Get things going.
Yeah.
Um,
and the other thing that has been amazing this year is really beginning our training with apprentices. So an apprentice is someone, or apprentices in training is someone who's come through module 1. They've watched, they've done their self work, they've been with other students. They come through module 2, which is way deeper and continues in the self-work and understanding how the mind works on a deeper level than module 1, understanding how to really read into that, change things that are very, very deep. And they've come through all of that, doing so much self-work. And these are people that are coming through and saying, hey, this has changed my life so much that I want to help other people. And so we are very slowly, but we are building a team. And this isn't just like get your little stamp, get your little certification, like go out and do whatever. I mean, this is very, dare I use the word intense? I'll say in-depth training that, because we're dealing with deep things here. And so people really need to be trained. So we have this group of apprentices that have been with us for a long time, kind of following us, doing the courses, whatever. And these people are committed to learning how to help others. And so we started that this last year. We have this crop coming through this year. One is already becoming a full practitioner. A number of others will next year for sure. But it's just been so encouraging to see, wow, people are doing this work. And Mind Change is not Kent and Heather. Mind Change is not what can Kent and Heather do or how can we help people. It's about, wow, how can we take the tools that we've learned that really is just how the mind works, how the body works, how it integrates, what's happening in the subconscious, how to rewire, how to deconstruct, how to reconstruct, all these different things. And once you learn that, then being able to work on yourself and then help others, it's really inspiring and it's encouraging.
This has been such an important piece for me. You know this.
Yes.
This piece has been one that I've wrestled with a lot, primarily because, and at some point, maybe in the right way, I will share where this really comes from, being a part of particular trainings and modalities where basically you just can watch a number of videos, turn something in and get a certificate, and then be able to go out and say that you can do these things. There's very little feedback. There's very little does this person understand? Are they doing it themselves? That's the thing. Are they
unhealed
really
healer versus
right? And I just was I was very involved in something before Mind Change that made it so clear to me that that is dangerous and unethical and cannot be repeated. Again, maybe someday I will share deeper about that. But so this became very, very important to me because once people saw the power of Mind Change, like, I want to learn how to do this with others. And it felt like rather than gatekeeping, because that's not ever what I want to do is be gatekeeping this information, but there needs to be accountability. And these people, we wanted to build something where they really were committed to the work within themselves first.
yes.
And over and over and over and over again. And then as a community, so that there was always really wonderful accountability. And then that they personally walked with us.
Yeah.
Because I want you to know, please do not make me a guru, and please get to know me to make sure I'm walking the walk, I'm talking the talk, I'm a trustworthy and ethical and, integrous person to be aligned with.
Right.
That's so important. And so this was a long time coming. We wrestled and we wrestled and we
put
framed.
the brakes on for a long time.
We did. We fully put the brakes on it because I was like, we have to do better. We have to do better. And the people that stuck with us through this process, you guys, if you come to see a Mind Change practitioner, you have a pretty good bet that this person has deeply committed to their own personal transformation, to their own change, to a honoring way of working with people's subconscious mind, that they have such a wonderful, beautiful, and respectful way of utilizing the tools that they have, that there's safety.
Right.
And that is of the utmost importance to us and to our team. So that's been really exciting to see, as this group of people who have stuck through all of these different variations and changes, and we're going to do better and we're going to do better, who have committed to do better with us,
Right.
are amazing.
Yeah, we're not just building like a team of coaches or a team, like we're building this team that of people that are devoted to their own continual growth and evolution, and then committed to helping other people out of no reason, no self validation or anything. Just, hey, I'm committed to help other people because I know what this has done for me, and I'm going to be right there with you.
And they're not in it for the money, because
Right.
it's like, that's not the, this could be a lucrative career for me, which it, for sure, it could be it. But that, if that's why they're getting into it, that gets weeded out
Quickly.
very quickly.
Yeah.
And so the people are more committed to changing themselves, changing the world, and figuring out how they can do that. And I just am so grateful for the people that have been on that journey with us.
And it's a team effort, and
It
we're all
is.
growing together.
And we grow from them.
Yeah.
They're a part of the way that we continue to go, the way that we frame things, the way we teach. So yeah, I love that. I love what we're doing. This was what I was wanting to make sure happened, and it's happening.
Yeah. Well,
So-
and the other thing is, the idea of building a team is, goodness, you can't do everything, right? And so this podcast and the workshops and the different things, we want to be able to spread this to as many people as possible. Healing, evolution, transformation, all of these things. And so,
Yeah, make it
Build the
as
team.
accessible
yes.
for people. And on that, another wonderful thing that came out of this last year is all of the book club stuff. Now, the book clubs, thanks to lovely Angela Hooper, if you haven't seen her episode, she started.
Who is an apprentice and
who is an
becoming
apprentice,
a practitioner
yes.
soon.
She started the book clubs in 2020. And I had no idea these were going on. And this idea of these book clubs and doing Mind Change as a community has been amazing and helped so many people. And through that, we've now have facilitator guides
Yep.
for people who are interested in doing book clubs. So upcoming in 2024, we have a whole plan for there to be ongoing book clubs around the world and people facilitating those book clubs. And you can join in on a book club and be a part of that and have a community that you're walking through this with.
Yeah.
And it's to watch the results of those people has been mind-blowing to me. I just couldn't have asked for that and expected that out of the book this would come. I just wanted it to help one person, and it has helped thousands of people and continues to grow and change. So that's another wonderful thing that's come out of 2023.
2023 has been a good year so far.
It's been a good year. Yeah. That's it, I think. I mean, no, there's so much more. But all that we want to really talk about now, other than to say thank all of you.
Right.
Thank you so much. But we also need you. We need you to help us. If anything has resonated with you, if it's helped you even in the slightest, reach out to other people, share it with other people. Please leave us. I didn't understand. I've listened to a lot of podcasts. And I always was like, blah, 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 subscribe, download, whatever. Guys, these algorithms are no joke. Like, we're battling a system. So there's so many things at play there that we really need your help with. So please go do all the things that you always hear people ask for. If you could please subscribe, download, share.
Well, and that's one of the biggest things I recognize is even as new clients have been coming in and just people that are interested or have questions, inquiries, whatever, I've been noticing more and more that so many are, a friend of mine gave me the book, or my sister-in-law this, or my father that. I mean, it's just people, it's word of mouth. And a big portion of that is because as a company, Mind Change has never really, we don't market much. And so it's been so much word of mouth. And so that's like actually super encouraging that people are like, oh, you should totally listen to this podcast. Oh, you should read this book or listen to this book or whatever. And that's really because of you guys. And we need that more and more. And so, help us help you.
And it's been such a cool story to see that there's people that are like, this kind of mind change thing. And it kind of resonates with them, but maybe not fully. And they share it with someone else. And then the person they shared it with, their entire life changes.
Oh, yeah.
And then that person comes back to the other person and is like, you really need to recheck this out because this is more than you thought it was. So I think that that's just been an incredible thing to watch that organically happen. It's brought families together.
Oh, how many families have we worked with where it's just the one person and then it ends up being just two people in the family. And then it's like this, it's like the entire family. We know the extended family.
Yeah. That's so cool.
It's awesome.
As we start to know whole families and they become family, I feel like, to us in so many ways. So yeah, it's just, but that's the power that you have as a listener or a watcher. Please share it. I know it might not seem like much, but it just is. Just like, hey, listen to this episode and let me know what you think. Like, share it on your social if you have a social. If you don't, just share it with people. Just please, because it really helps reach the people who need it the most.
Yeah.
And lives change. So, like, why wouldn't we?
Listen, we have had people just read the book.
Yep.
And listen, this book club one of the many book clubs that Angela did, people's lives, health, relationships have transferred just from doing the book club, just from reading the book. No
Just reading the book.
sessions, no nothing. So it's not like we're looking for like more client. Listen, someone's life can completely shift by reading a $10 Kindle book.
Yeah.
By listening to a 1 month free Audible book, like just complete. And that's what we want.
Because this isn't just something to like put on and do. It's not another exercise program or a supplement to take. It is getting into each person's individual makeup and showing them that they have more sovereignty and more agency than they think they do.
It's reforming, rewiring, it's recalibrating everything.
Yeah. Everyone needs to have this. I'm not just saying that because it's my company. Really. So that's, if we could just ask, please, that if this has helped you in any way, shape, or form, just share it. I know I resist marketing kind of stuff because it feels, it's just,
salesy.
yeah, and I hate that. But like, if something's good, we share it. We just do. So I think that that's my ask, is that if this even spoke to you to the smallest degree, just give it a share. And
we do it all the time. Like when there's an exciting movie or or even just another podcast, I talk to people about, I listened to this one podcast, this episode, we all do it.
Yep. So if you could do it for us, please, that would be amazing. Then the download, I was personally humbled and challenged by this because of how many podcasts I listened to before starting my own that I was not subscribed to, that I never downloaded, that I never left a review for. And now I'm realizing like, oh, that actually very much matters. That's like the small thing I can do back for the thing I'm getting for absolutely nothing. So if you could do that for us, that would be so amazing. We'd be very grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And for all of you who've already done it, you guys, thank you. You've helped so many people you can't even imagine.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome. Be cool to draw a map one time and be like, this person shared it with this person, who then shared it with this person, whose lives was also changed. And then they were able to have a kid who grew up and
Yeah. I mean, listen, the thing that I want us to all remember is trauma affects generations.
Yeah. Trauma is passed down in many ways, but so is
healing.
Yeah.
And so is this transformation. And it's more powerful. So we can do this together. And the more people that we can reach, the I really do believe it could. We're not selling a pill. We're not like trying to give you a, do this, do this, do this, and you have to do this thing. It's really putting the power back in the hands of the individual and creating a community to do that in like-minded, and saying, hey, if you ever do get stuck, we've got a resource for that. And you want to do more? We got a resource for that. And you want to really take time out of your world and go to another island and just be completely transformed. We've got that too. So we've got all these entry points for people that you barely have to do anything, or you can take it to the max and level up. And we want you to be a part of this no matter what entry point you come in from.
I'm super proud of you in this podcast.
Well, I'm kind of proud of us because we couldn't do it without you.
I'm proud of us too. Thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, thank you so much. Join us next season for all the rest of the most amazing interviews. And please, please, please let us know what you want us to talk about, what you want to hear, what you want to see. Let us know, and we will do our best to get that out there for you.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you. And thank you for being with us as we endeavor to change the world one mind at a time.